What's going on, gamers? Hopefully everyone is having a great weekend. We got an interesting topic here to go over, because trends are kind of like a little bit slow at the moment again, and we've pretty much covered a lot on this channel. Doing 3 videos a day is definitely something else, and the topics will eventually die out, so you definitely have to find something that's interesting. And this one gets interesting because it's something that the Square Enix director argues about, and it's with Sony's big digital sale coming, right? As we know that this is going on, it's a really good one. They do sales just like Steam now, but he argues about something here, and it's about PlayStation ditching physical games. To him means that by 2028 store prices could be lower through publisher competition, kind of like similar to Steam. And a lot of people are saying, well, that just means that Sony gets to make more money only in their store, away from places like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, where you could have like credit, GameStop, Amazon, however you want to look at it. Because in that point, they're not going to get paid. Sony's not going to have to pay shipping. They don't have to manufacture a disc. And in digital, you get 100% profit. And sometimes people like the idea of being able to trade and maybe borrow, though I think that's much lesser now compared to back then. But this seems to be the topic that's going on right here, as we see. So become a member, leave a tip down below, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into this. It says, under the Ready, Set, Play banner, PlayStation offers up to 75% off digital games through August 26. Those are some games that are like $4, $5. It's always like that, though. Plus, PlayStation Premium trials like Soros and hits such as Astrobot. A former Square Enix director, as we see, this is where it's kind of like coming from, right here, argues ditching physical disc by 2028 could lower, as we see right here, lower store prices through publisher competition, similar to Steam. Here's the thing, it's already kind of like that, and it's been like that, but they're saying they think it's going to get even better and cheaper. But the problem with this is that if people want physical copies, it's not going to fix that problem. You always have that crowd that is going to say things the way they want to say it. And like I said, I don't really care to hear from anyone unless it's actually a PlayStation gamer, or if you're a Nintendo gamer trying to comment on it, because they obviously have a high physical ratio. As we've seen, it's about 40%, and that's more than PlayStation and Xbox put together. I'm not going to say anything about PC because it's 0%. So it's like, yeah, don't say anything unless you're a gamer that literally has all of them and you've always had, and you buy physical on Nintendo or on PlayStation. Other than that, I kind of feel like there's always going to be an over manipulation and hate towards PlayStation on Twitter and in general from insecure Xbox fanboys and PC fanboys. Not PC gamers who just want a game and Xbox gamers want a game, but sometimes when you look at some of the most negative posts, it's somebody that is supporting the no disc ideology, and it have been for a long time. We've seen that. It gets like that on Twitter, and you can spike stuff and make things look like there's more views than you would think, right? So yeah, the Square Enix director is obviously being attacked by certain people on Twitter, basically coming after the post saying, BS. It just means Sony's having a digital monopoly and all digital control. So continuing, it says, yet gamers push back hard with no disc, no buy chance. By the way, this is dying down big time. When I see PlayStation post and I see it, it's nowhere near where it used to be before. So I'm just letting you guys know what I'm seeing. Like, it'll have like 1,500 views. Some may get like 7,000, but before it used to be a couple 100,000, some a million, and it just died off big time. But I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. But yeah, so they're pushing back with no disc and no buy chance, valuing ownership and resale, and see the sale as nudging towards all digital control, as we were actually talking about here. And this is where the post started, right here. Going down, Pirate Nation makes a post saying, Sony moving away from PlayStation Disc could eventually lead to cheaper games on PlayStation Store, according to former Square Enix Director of Business Development, Jacob, this is the guy right here, Navak. It's either Navak or Navak. However you said, you never know with English, it's mutable. But this is the person right here. Competition between publishers is what drives pricing pressure, not competition between digital stores. He also pointed to Steam as an example, saying that prices can naturally fall over time as games compete with other releases. But this is stuff that's been going on, though. Sony drops the price of their games. The only company that you should be worried about if they did that was Nintendo, but thank God they don't, because they don't drop the prices of their games hardly. It can be kind of annoying. So yeah, that happens all the time. He says, but you're going to see more sales and dynamic pricing similar to Steam because publishers will compete among themselves to a greater extent. They're saying that's going to get even more cheaper, but there are some people, like you saying right here, this is some BS. Nobody believes it. Sony got sued for inflating prices. Yeah, they've done that before. Microsoft has done it. Everybody has done it. It's not anything new here. Steam gets sued multiple times for a digital monopoly. That's what I'm saying here. Like this stuff right here, you already kind of see going on. It's nothing new. The sales are already that cheap. Go take a look at the sales in a PlayStation store right now. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to look at anything. You can click on here and see it yourself without owning a PlayStation. The games are very cheap. There's tons and tons of games to always buy. So to me, it just depends what they mean by that. They mean by if you could actually sell first-party games cheaper to a certain extent, it would be cool. But this is more about third-party publishers because it's not saying exclusives. So they'll always put their games on sale. EA has always made games very cheap over time too. Ubisoft does it as well. Rockstar, I mean, they don't have that many games because they're just only making Grand Theft Auto and they milk the hell out of that. But if you take a look at like certain other publishers, Square Enix does it. Now from software, they don't make their games that cheap. Koei Tecmo doesn't do it too crazy either. Obviously talking about other developers, we know we're not going to even talk about Nintendo because that only exists in their world. But we know if you look at other developers, you can kind of see that. And there's tons of developers that are only having digital games, like obviously indie developers as well. Remedy, some of their games can be super cheap sometimes. I mean, just think about a lot of publishers. And I'm telling you, if you take a look at the store, PlayStation Store, try to compare the PlayStation Store sales to the Steam sales, publisher to publisher, and see if they're pretty much the same. For the most part, they are a lot of the times. And Sony does more sales than Microsoft does. They're always having crazy sales going on. I'm telling you, like, because I used to look at the stores all the time. And it's weird that people say certain things, but I'm like, but do you realize how the digital was in the Xbox world? I tried to tell people this before. You could lose your game library when it goes offline. On PlayStation, you can still play. So you're not really losing anything. And if these developers make it to where your game has to be online or you have to do some type of checkup, then what that means is that even if you believe you have some disc, you still have to go through some like license check or verification. And it's actually kind of annoying. So going over to Rhino's post, this is what he says. Sony's push for ending physical game discs is not the future. It's a stepping stone towards more greed and control. Ending secondhand market, creating a monopoly, raising prices where no competition exists. Steam has actually been accused of having the only market like that because they monopolized. Ending ownership. It's a dream to me, so I don't ever believe in true ownership anyways. Likely ending a digital purchases eventually. If it becomes irrelevant, yeah. Moving to a full subscription model. Yeah, I'm good on that. Making you buy the same game multiple times when licenses end and sell you another remakester. To be honest with you, bro, like let me tell you something about this. Sony doesn't make a lot of first-party games yearly. You should be more worried that if a third-party publisher or developer is doing this. And the reason why is because they would do that on all stores. That wouldn't be just a PlayStation problem. That would be on the Switch too, on the PlayStation, and on Steam, right? And on Xbox. That's why I say this is mostly a third-party issue, right? But if third-party developers and publishers were really against this, Sony would not be allowed to do that. What people are not understanding is it's not necessarily a Sony issue, but it's a publishing and third-party and industry issue, and also a gamer consumer issue, because gamers voted for it to be like this with their money. Supporting Sony is not supporting the future nor moving on from antiquated CDs. It is fighting against your own self-interest. You say this, but if the majority of the world is digital, they're going to disagree with you. You're only saying this against people who literally want to get a disc. That's my problem with this mentality. Now, I'm not saying if you buy CDs, this isn't for you. Obviously, this is. I'm saying the majority of the world has voted for this push. But the majority of the world that's been supporting digital did not say for Sony to end physical. They did that because they saw the percentage that you gave them by what you wanted to purchase. Just like voting, like I'm saying. It says, trust no media, trust no politicians with conflict of interest, and trust no people wanting to win favors with Sony. Trust your own wallet and your money's worth. Funny you say that, but because that's what this is what people voted for. And remember how complacency led to microtransactions, DLC, and paid multiplayer to become the norm. So I think that it's worse with the free-to-play and microtransactions. How do you think Fortnite and memes and all that got so big? What got us? I'm just saying that pretty much massively supported that because that wasn't about getting a disc. Free-to-play games. A lot of people have been playing them for a long time. So you got people that probably buy physical discs. They played the hell out of those free-to-play games. And they over-supported it with microtransactions. Purchasing. Like, you got to really think about that. How much money have those free-to-play games actually made? A lot of money. There was actually one point where it was like 50% battling with the other half of gaming. And it's like, you see, who did that? Gamers? You could have ignored it. So it's weird to me to complain and make it seem like this is only Sony's fault when we also have a part to play in it as well. We supported all that with our money. Sony's decision was to end physical. Our decision was to put digital at that percentage. That's the difference, but you put them in the position to see it that way. It takes two to tango. That's what I'm saying here. So going down, you'll see some of these type of posts. What do you think Sony gains by ending the secondhand market when they already profit from every digital sale? When they make their storefront the only place you get games from, it means more profits for them. But the funny thing is that Xbox has been pretty much discless and all digital for a long time, for the most part. And putting you on Game Pass or cloud. And saying, oh, go on mobile to play the Xbox stuff too, and on PC, which is all digital. There's no second-hand market on PC. It was only in the PlayStation world and the Nintendo world mostly. And the Xbox gamers never went to buy anything. So you might as well not exist in that sense because it was like 1%. It was so low. If you take a look at the Xbox physical. So this is where I kind of call out some people being frauds because they just want like interaction and just like post and attention. And I'm like, so are you being genuine or are you just doing this because you want to make it seem like only Sony is doing this when the whole entire industry has been pushing this for a long time? Even outside of gaming, like at Netflix and music worlds are like, oh, vinyls. Yeah, because people want to collect stuff, but streaming still dominates music and movies and TV shows. It doesn't dominate gaming though, but it's a part of it now. Gaming is still people mostly buying games. Because you buy games on Steam because there is no Game Pass type option. You buy games in PlayStation and you buy games in the Nintendo world. See? And if the majority of people are choosing digital, then they don't care about the secondhand market because they don't want to have their house full of all those copies of games. They're not hoarders. They like the space efficiency. They don't want to get up and drive and do all that type of stuff. See? And sometimes digital games are pretty damn cheap. You can go to the store and it's just full price. Unless you have credit somewhere. But there's always people that I see kind of like grab a post. And they try to make it seem like, look at the price of physical. And the digital have one-off sale. So they'll go grab the digital and say, look at this. And it's like, yeah, but that game goes on sale a ton of times. And it's pretty much the same price. So if you're doing that for price comparison, I don't know about that. Now, if you're doing that because you're thinking about ownership, it's not going to matter if all the third-party publishers and developers follow Sony when they do that in 2028. And you're saying, I'm going to Xbox. What? They're going to go all digital. What does it matter? And you're not going to get those PlayStation games and those money hats and those second-party games. You see what I mean? It doesn't solve the problem. I told you the closest thing you're going to get is a key card in the Switch 2 world. Like let's say if Rockstar makes GTA 6 for Switch 2, which I believe they will down the line, it's going to have a key card instead of just being only digital. Unless Rockstar was like, we're not doing key cards. We're just going to launch the game digital on your store. And Nintendo's like, okay, that may happen. You know, it's a possibility of that. We'll see what happens though. But some of these posts, it's like, yeah, okay. And this guy says, despite PlayStation's pathetic efforts to gaslight the masses into accepting their all-digital future with these constant sales, they are still constantly failing. The superior option is still cheaper. You saying physical is superior is actually an opinion. If it was, then it would be dominating more than digital. A lot of people disagree with you on that. The problem is the license. See, he's trying to show Astro Bot at 60, but it goes on sale a lot. It goes down to sometimes $39.99. One time I think $35 or whatever. But it's like it's been on sale a lot. Actually, recently a lot. So somebody could say, so you're $1 cheaper, because I've seen it go to $40. So you want me to drive to the store, waste gas, drive back to all that type of stuff? It depends on how you look at it. When's the next time you think you're going to see a remaster for this? What, next gen? I mean, no, that's going to be a while. Sony is unleashing a full-on propaganda campaign. Seriously, F you, right? Gaming needs a third-party entity to take over creating physical game discs. Okay, yeah. I was saying that, like, when you think about limited run games, that would probably be a good idea if they want to do that. So, I'm not against that. Ready, set, go. No disc, no buy. You know what's so weird? Why was this not going on in the Xbox world for the longest? Because Microsoft has been putting codes in the boxes. Series S, most sold console, get on Game Pass 24/7 for quite some time. But it seems that when PlayStation does it, it's more of a problem. Well, probably because that's how much bigger PlayStation is than Xbox. And they have a huge third-party industry. The biggest support in the industry. So I can kind of get that. But I want you guys to let me know what you actually think about this. Because now, since that Square Enix director has said this, it has started up a little bit more of a trend. But it's not anything like before. Like I said, killing physical media, look at this, 8K. Imagine a promotion where PlayStation starts offering physical editions of online games, 5.7K, no disc, no die, no disc, no buy, 11K. And this has been up for a whole day. See what I mean? It has died down significantly. It's nowhere near as big as it used to be. People are still coming here and doing that, right? Look, there's not that many people looking anymore. That's what I was trying to tell you. It literally fell down big time. Now you're seeing what's actually left of it. Just saying. Let me know what you guys think later. Keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on.